to be able to go live, and looks like we're going live right here, right now, as well. So if you guys are there, we appreciate it, and appreciate all of you guys as we're trying to build some decks. We're going to be looking on here, though, at some other stuff as well, just so we can see it. So if you're here, make sure to say hello. We're building Rogsai, so this is a CDH deck, so we're trying to finish it up here in about 25 minutes or so. We'll switch over to another, we'll switch over and watch a little bit of some other stuff. I'm just trying to check to make sure I'm live over here on the Twitch. I'm still learning how to do Twitch, so bear with me, trying to figure out OBS and all of this fun stuff. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out also how to share this as well. So, share the stream. Well, if my internet won't crash out on me. There we go. Let's see, does this help if I turn this light on this thing? I'm just trying to see if you guys can see better, or if I need to get a better camera or what for this. So, because I don't know how well you can see the cards here. So if you can or cannot see the cards, let me know. As well as on here, I'm looking at both things, so I'm trying to see if everyone can see better. You know, so I just kind of want to see what it looks like as I do these things. Oh, we got the first one that was going to go in here is a Simian Spirit Guide for sure. Be able to get that one extra mana from my hand. So, and just trying to see on the actual stream if you can see it look well or read it. So, yeah, there we go. I'll also put them up to the camera. So, Simian Spirit Guide is the first one. I am doing a couple things here, so bear with me. Copy URL. Trying to share this a couple places real quick, so bear with me. Well, if everything decides not to freeze up on me. But if you guys are here, we appreciate you guys being here. Definitely let us know. We're all across on all platforms, so if you guys are here, let us know. Everything is just running slow. I definitely have to get me a different computer for this. We'll get there eventually, I know. And here, yeah. Hey, Alex, everyone that's jumping on. We appreciate you guys for being here. If you are here, yep. If I can actually. I'm trying putting these all in the right places too. I don't want to put it on the wrong spot and then someone will be mad and be like, hey, you're not supposed to have that here. So, yeah. So if I look funny for a second, I'm trying to pull some stuff up, move it around, post some stuff. It's always fun, you know, because you got to promote yourself wherever you can and try to get people on here. And appreciate everyone here. We are working currently on going to start building here in just a second. We're going to be building Rogrek and Rogsai is what we call it. So we're going to go through the list, kind of look and see what we have, what we don't have, what we need to add, and go from there. So I appreciate everyone that, if you're here or on here, appreciate everybody for being here, if that is you or not. So trying to just see how this goes, because, you know, this is different. For me, I'm working on doing some more live streaming between doing personal deck building and stuff like that, and on some other things as well. So I might go live for a few minutes. I don't know. I do definitely not have whatnot this evening, but I'm trying to, you know, promote here, try to get some people interested in what we have to do. We want to help people grow. We want people to get better at Magic the Gathering. And so we're working on building decks and showing people how to build decks and stuff like that. But I'm also trying to, you know, promote across platforms, because you gotta have people. The downside is I'm a Mac person, so I have got to get me a PC so that I can basically just so that I can stream. because they make it near impossible to stream when you're on a MacBook. I like Mac just because overall most of my stuff is that way, but I'll have to break down and get me a affordable, cheap PC probably, just so that I can, do my thing, get some stuff out there, and do some streaming. And so, if you're there, definitely let me know. We are watching here we're on all of our platforms, so just trying to see how it goes. I don't have a cool overlay or anything just yet. I've got someone working on that for me, or if you personally are like, hey, I'd love to help you out with an overlay, let me know. I'm trying to figure this all out. Like I said, I've only done in the past, literally the only thing I ever did stream, I did Streamlabs, and I would stream Magic the Gathering Arena, and I want to do some Arena on here. But also, just want to be on here and play, and so we're going to be talking about Magic the Gathering. We're working on building Rogside, and then we're going to switch over here in about 20 minutes. They have a Aetherdrift preview thing happening, so I want to be a part of that. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm on the right things. Let me just make sure I'm in where I am. Yep, we're here, and we're on across all of our platforms, I believe. So appreciate you guys here. And now we're going to just look up, what is it? Bosch and Roll has Rogside deck. There's a lot of different cards that people use in Rogside, and so we're trying to figure it out. Rogside, basically, the whole purpose of this deck is you honestly don't typically, you can put your commander out there, but you kind of want to cycle through and do your own thing and build your own stuff. I had some people giving me some ideas of what to do and what to build, and so you do that as well to get where you're going. The Rogside is really fast. It's turbo. You want to basically try to get a bunch of mana out as fast as possible, try to win turn 1, turn 2, try to be that guy that beats people before they beat you. So this is the first for me when I build this deck, so it's going to be a little bit interesting as we build this deck. So, and we'll see. So, I'm just trying to see here. Give me just a second. I had some friends give me some information, be like, hey, this is their Rogside deck. This is this person's Rogside deck. And so I'm trying to look at my stuff, see what I've got. Let us know what you got, what you like. If you've played this deck before, if you have recommendation. For the most part, your creatures are going to be pretty similar. So, okay, are we just doing it like that? I don't care about the layout right now. I just care about this right here. And so, if you're out there, please let us know. Make sure you're commenting. We're doing this across all of our platforms at the moment, so it's pretty cool. And appreciate everybody for being here as well. Oh boy. So, I also should probably check to make sure I can hear myself and make sure it sounds good. And there's no crazy background noise. Probably check to make sure I can. Yep, perfect. Hear myself and make sure it's. Now I have the double audio. Yeah, that's just what I want to have for you guys. The double audio. But hopefully in the future we're going to start doing some more streaming, building decks and stuff like that. So, like I said, in about 20 minutes we'll switch over and try to watch something. But we're going to be looking here. So Rogside, you're down to 98 cards now at this point. So. Appreciate everyone that's been joining in, and we're going to go through here and kind of look. We're looking for creatures first. I want to go through my creatures and pull them out, and so I already know one of my creatures, which no one runs that, but this is one of your key cards, Underworld Breach. But Ragavan and Simian Spirit Guide are in here, and then obviously Thassa's Oracle. I mean, my Bowmasters is in here, so we're going through. I'm just trying to see what we got. I may or may not run Opposition Agent in this. Some people do, some people don't. Technically, since Toxic Sorcerers got taken out, it might not be a bad idea, because then I can steal their stuff when they go to search for stuff. But we'll see. I am currently, well, look, I've got 6 million. The Spirit Guides. Let's see, where are we going? Bear with me as I'm looking for my creatures in here. Orcish Bowmasters. Very, very important card. And Valley Flood Caller. This is an important card. Storm Drake wasn't a guaranteed card, but it was one that we talked about. Let's see here. I know I have Bergie in here. I'm almost certain I bought a Bergie. If not, I will have to go get a Bergie. But I know I have a Bergie somewhere. So kind of going through here, looking at the cards. Yeah, some of these are proxies. I do own multiple copies of all of these cards. These are, some stuff that people put in here, some people don't. So you kind of want to go through and see. I know I have a Bergie. I just need to find that Bergie. Sorry if I can't, if I'm hungry. Not showing everybody everything. I'm trying to be as best as possible for where I can, what I can, and where are you, Bergie? There's my Bergie. Alright, Bergie. There we go. We got Bergie. So you got Bergie, you have Orchestra Masters, Ragavan, Spirit Guide, Valley Flood Caller. You have some other things that people kinda could possibly run. I'm looking at 2 different decks right now. Deck list, just seeing what they run as well. So they run Goblin Welder in this one. A little bit different. But you gotta, here's the thing, most of the decks that you're looking at, they had some other stuff in the past, and so you're trying to look at it and trying to see what's going on, and you can try to find it all out. So we're just kind of looking and trying to see. We'll come back. The next thing we want to go for, let's go for, just go through sorceries. So we can put all the lands off to the side. We know you're going to need lands, so we're going to put all the lands off to the side. We'll put all the artifacts in a pile as well. Land, artifact. Let's see here. Bear with me. I'm trying to keep the space where people can also see. So we've got our creatures here. I'm going to put these up here. We already have our creatures. We got our instants. We're going to go here. Our sorceries, and we have enchantments in one spot, instants in one spot. Well, just the ones that I've pulled so far, that is not a bad creature to run as well, possibly. Your sorceries, you run a lot of sorceries in here, and there are some of them that you're just, it depends on what you get. Artifacts, we can put artifacts. If I move this, and you put artifacts up here. Instant, land. Just trying to make it where you guys can see stuff as I'm just going through here and just looking and trying to make sure. We appreciate everyone we got here. So instant, enchantment, instant, sorcery, artifact. Oh, these artifacts up here. We're just trying to divide everything up right now. Going through that way, as we go through each one, we can just pull them apart and be like, okay, we have this, we don't have this, we need to get this. So I have a lot of these lands. I need to go through and find them. I have artifacts in 2 spots. It's quite funny, actually. Lands can come over here, and we're just squishing everything up. Artifact. We have multiples of stuff. Sometimes it does happen. There's a sorcery. Imposter deck. I bought some of these as things that I wanted to be. So, have you played against this deck yourself? Have you ever played against Rogsai? Let us know in the comments below. If you're here, we appreciate it. And if you're not here, we understand it as well. So, and if you're on over here on what's it called? TikTok, let me know. I may miss you for a second, but I will find you. So at some point, just let me know. Born Upon a Wind. So any wind comes. I think Rider Flame is a new one that people use. Winds have changed possibly. Here's your land. There's a Saga. Cabal Ritual. Pact. Clearwater Pathway. You don't run all of these lands. I did not realize I had multiple. There's a Saga. Not a spot for you. Havoc Trap. Cabal Ritual. Snuff Out possibly, Culling the Weak, Cabal Coffers, Taxian Probe, Grinding Station, Isocon Scepter, Flare Duplication, Flusterstorm, Admaz, Demonic Constellation, Final Fortune, Paradise Mantle possibly, Praetor's Grasp. I know that there's 2 Swamp Songs in here, Powerrest, Necropotence, Final Fortune, another Mox Emperor, land. Look, another vibrate trap. Didn't realize they had multiples of them. So there also is multiples of these. Probably you're going to see multiple copies of stuff in here that I have multiple copies of, or I was just grabbing as I did stuff so that I could have them to make sure that as I was building the deck, I could get it. So you basically here we're dividing through, we're going through, we're looking at it, seeing what we need, then taking all of the lands. What's funny is I own almost all of these cards. I just need to go and actually, I don't need another Swan Song. There's already 2 Swan Songs in there. Heuristic Study. Oh, there's another Prayer's Grasp, but I actually own that card, so I'll put it aside. Mental Misstep. Manifold. Drain. Lion's Eye Diamond. Jessica's Will. I think I already put a Jessica's Will in there, but just in case I forgot. Tuition. Gemstone. Force of Will, Force of Negation, Fluster Storm, Put a Stream, Here's Guardianship, Intune, Demonic Tutor, Deflecting Smut, Deadly Relic. I think Calling the Wake already ended up being in there. Sacrifice Chrome Locks, a Chain of Vapor, with some Mire, Beseech the Mirror. Alright, now we're going to take a look at what these decks look for. So, number 1 is a Beseech the Mirror. That's going in for sure. Let's see here. Demonic Tutor. Yep. Demonic Tutor will go in. Which I actually have other Demonic Tutors. I might even grab them. I just recently purchased a thing. Let's see here. Gamble. Do I have Gamble? I know I put Gamble in here. Yep. There's Gamble. Alright, so we got Gamble. Diabolic Intent. Because you have Rograk, you can sack him to get the cards you need and want. So that's kind of the purpose of this deck here. So we're building Rog size CDH, just so you know. Let me go back over here to my list. So Gamble, Gitaxian Probe. Where did oh no, I think I put Gitaxian Probe over here in the pile. And there might be some cards in here that I don't have that I've got to pick up, which is okay. I'm looking for it right now. I remember putting it in here. Anytime second, hey man, glad that you just stopped by. I appreciate you. Appreciate you liking the live. I'm just doing a quick live stream here. I know here in a minute they're doing a Aetherdrift kind of preview thing. We're going to switch over to that. But we're also just kind of trying to finish this building this here. Later today we're doing another, that's a sorcery too, what in the world? And everything. I totally forgot what I was looking for. Oh, Gitaxian Probe. Get Probe. At least I thought I had it in here. I don't have it. I need to go find it. Oh wait, no, there it is. Gitaxian Probe. There we go. Well, I appreciate you being here. You're stopping by. If you're here, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for liking. You know, we're trying to do more live streaming, especially in the year. We got some really cool things, some cool ideas that we're working on, opportunities as well. So, which is really cool for us. Let's see here. Where is his sorceries? We use Demonic Diabolic Gamble. He does a Grim Tutor. And that one, which I might put Grim Tutor in here as well because I don't have the one. So let's see here. I don't have an Imperial Seal. So Gitaxian Brims. I know the Rite of Flame. Did we already put Jessica's Will in here? No. Jessica's Will. Wheel of Fortune. Yawgmoth's Will is in here. And let's see here. Praetor's Grasp is in here. They don't do Winds of Change in this one. But Winds of Change to me is not a bad card. We do the Windfall. I already have a Wheel of Fortune. The Time Twister. Multiple Wheels of Fortune. So Time Twister. Cards that I probably will never own. Yawgmoth's Will. Windfall. They say Wheel of Misfortune. I may put Winds of Change in there instead. Warrior's Oath. Take an extra turn after this. Okay. So they have some extra turn spells that I don't know if I have or not, but we're just trying to see what we got. Trying to see if I missed any of these. Tutor Pack Negation, Power Blast, Final Fortune. Just making sure I didn't put any of the other cards in here. No, don't look like it. Okay. So, I don't have Last Chance. I don't have Monomic Betrayal. Oh, I do have that card. I need to find that card. I do have that card somewhere. I just need to figure out where I put it. It might be in my pile of cards that I was looking to trade or sell. So, but this is why we're building this, because we're trying to find what we're missing and then what we can add and or get. I have an entire huge binder of cards that I have as well. And then I also have a binder, and then some of it is stuff I will use, some of it is stuff that if I can find it, great. If I cannot find it, I understand as well. But I have the proxies here. That's the nice thing about CDH is I have proxies to temporarily build the deck, and then I can go through and find all of my cards that I have in different decks. So we're looking for Monomic Betrayal. I have that card. I know I have that card. The good thing that these are all in alphabetical order that I'm looking through right now. I know this card sometimes gets put in there, so we'll grab that too while I'm doing it. Possibly Grim Tutor. We may or may not have Grim Tutor in there, but I found a Grim Tutor, and so that's that. Appreciate everyone for being on and watching if you're here. Appreciate you guys, and thank you guys for liking the live and being a part of the live here. There's an Imperial, so possibly if I decide to run that in that. I may not run it. I may swap it out for some cards. See, I myself build decks, and I will always add and or take away different stuff. So as we do that, I add cards, take away cards, whatever, because I want my own little spin on. Now technically in CDH you've got basically about the same, like 15-20 cards, or you have about 10 different cards that are slightly different. What was I looking for? Monomic Betrayal, right? Yep. Okay, I found one, but I can just go ahead and send over here, because I know I have that card. I just got to find it really quick at some point. Got to go dig through my big old pile of new cards I recently purchased. That most of them are going to be sold on Whatnot and stuff like that, but you can also get them on here. So I have Monomic Betrayal. You were supposed to be up here. Alright, I don't know how you got out. Okay. So I don't have Last Chance, and I don't have Last Chance or Will of Misfortune, which is okay. I think I may put Winds of Change in here, because that's a good way to get a bunch of cards and not let everyone else too. So instead of so if I draw a bunch of cards with Necropotence, I'm then not stuck with everyone else's stuff. So we have the sorceries and we have the creatures basically done. I may add one creature. We're gonna count where we're at card wise when we get up here. All right, let's move on to instants. So Strand of Vapor for sure. Do they run Cyclonic Rift? They don't actually run Cyclonic Rift, so I'll put this aside. They do run Deadly Relic. Deflecting Swap for Sword. Do they run Entomb? They don't run Entomb in theirs, but I think because Entomb is a way to get the cards you want in your deck, the cards you need in the deck that you're looking for. Oh, maybe not. No one runs Entomb in this one, so we'll put Entomb over here as a card we don't need. Fierce Guardianship, I know for sure, is in there. Force of Will, Force of Negation, Flusterstorm, Intuition. Is Intuition in here? No, not Intuition. Mana Drain for sure. No, they don't run Mana Drain in this deck? Okay, interesting. Mental Misstep for sure. Vampiric Tutor. Do they run Mystical Tutor? That's what I'm curious. Do most people run Mystical Tutor? Yep, they do. They run Mystical Tutor, so you get your thing. Pact of Negation. So, I know one person runs this Retraction Helix, which says, doesn't return target on-land permanent to its owner's hands. Right? Retraction Helix is a way to go infinite with a card or two. So, I might put this in here. This is going to be a might. It's a little bit different than what some people run. But, you know, it is what it is. And we're just having fun over here doing our thing. Not sure if anyone has been watching, so we're just kind of taking a look over here and seeing if anybody's watching, anything's going good. We're going back over there to the list, and it was Mindbreak Trap for sure. Final Fortune, Pyroblast. Do they run Swan? Yep, they run Swan Song. Do I have 2 Final Fortunes actually? It looks like it. I got 2 Final Fortunes. So this Final Fortune, go over here. Demonic Consultation for sure. Ad Nauseum. The Flusterstorm, which I want to put the real Flusterstorm in here over that one because I have a real Flusterstorm. And a No Flare Duplication is in here. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't grab a Dark Ritual yet. Calling the Week. They put stuff out in here. They don't put stuff out. Cabal Ritual though. Cabal Ritual. Mindbreak Trap. Pact of Negation. I think I already put it in here, but I have the alternate. I have the real version of it. There we go. I have multiple Cabal Rituals, so we will pull this Cabal Ritual off. Rapid Hybridization. Nope. Born Upon a Wind. Yeah, that's a way to win. Dramatic Reversal. See, they don't run Dramatic Reversal. I think you should run Dramatic Reversal. It's a very easy way. Hey, Spicy, you more Spicy Noodles. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the likes. Sorry, I am looking at my screen and looking at things. So we're building Rogstar right now. Trying to go through and see what's on these deck lists that people have. See what people run. Some people run, some people don't run. So it's all a little bit different. Everyone runs a little bit different. You know, what they run and what they do not run. So we're just kind of looking here. Alright, so Dramatic Reversal actually doesn't see play in this deck. I don't remember if I put a Fierce Guardianship in there or not. I know it affects the SWAT. I think, though, they don't run... See, Brain Freeze, but this one doesn't run Brain Freeze? No, they do run Brain Freeze, I was going to say. And the Force of Negation, which I need to pull out. The other Force of Negation, and put that one in, put this one out. But yeah, we're just going through here and seeing if I'm missing anything. So I don't have Tainted Pack, and I know I have Tainted Pack somewhere. I need to find the Tainted Pack, but I do have a Tainted Pack. I swear I have a Tainted Pack somewhere. Dramatic Reversal, these two over here. Tainted Pack. I know I have one, or I got one. Oh, we're going to pull this one in here. This is Tainted Pack. I don't have that, but I might have another one somewhere. That'll work for now. The Tainted Pack. Try to keep all the cards separate is always fun and easy, not easy to do, but we are missing. So I don't have Daze. I mean, I can get a Daze, but Daze is a, whoa. I actually do have that card. I just got to figure out where my Daze is. Because TCG player, I might actually just put that in. I don't know if it's an expensive card or how expensive that is. Let's put it that way. Dazes, you enter an island you control this owner's hand instead of paying for Dazes mana cost counter, and we'll pay 1. Which is not bad. It's not bad. I feel like running a few more removal spells might be better though now because of what's out there. So I'm gonna take a look, but I know I've seen Daze. Like I know I have it in my collection somewhere. At least I think I do. Yeah, I do. I just have to figure out where I put it. That is the big question. Yeah, I do have it. I just don't know where it is. That's always fun. But you know, there are some other cards that I might put in there instead. Let's see here. What else was I looking at here? So I got Adnaz, Born Upon a Wind, Cabal, Chain of Vapor, Culling, I need a dark red, which I know where those are. I just have to find it. Let's put it that way. Where are my dark reds? I just put a whole bunch of them in like a pile yesterday as I was going through, and they're cards that I know have not necessarily value, but they are cards I put up because I wanted to find them, and so I'm like digging through all of my decks right now, so bear with me as we go through this quickly. I recently purchased an entire huge collection from somebody and have a ton of cards from that, and I've been going through them slowly and surely, and so I've seen a bunch of these cards recently because I've just been going through it, and so now it's just a matter of figuring out and trying to remember where I saw that card or where I put that card. So, and like I said, I know for a fact that I have a dark ritual in one of these boxes over here, so give me just a second. I will be right. I'm here. I'm still here. You may not see my hands moving on the screen, but I do know for a fact that in one of these are going to be multiple dark riches, because I know dark red is a very good card. Maybe it's more towards the back. There's a bunch of Pyroblast, Vandablast, Ponders, Oring. I don't even actually know if I have a Soul Ring or Arcane Signet set aside for this deck, so I need to grab a Soul Ring and an Arcane Signet that I just set off to the side. Because I have them, I just never put them off aside for this deck. So appreciate you guys being here. I am still here. If I don't say anything to you directly and you liked it or whatever, I appreciate you. I am digging through cards at the moment. In about 5 minutes, we're going to switch over and we're going to watch this live stream thing happen. That'll have information supposedly about Aetherdrift, which I'm really excited for. Hoping to get that preview card. If you've followed any of the stuff that we've done recently, trying to get that preview card. Really trying to get a preview card. We'll see if that happens. We do have belief that we will get it because of the work we're putting in, but you never know. Okay, so it's not in any here. Red Elemental Blast. I didn't need that though. So that's that one. And we're gonna pause here. I go try to find another dark ritual somewhere in one of my piles. I know it's here. Where are you? Where are you, dark ritual? I know you're in one of these piles. You just are hiding from me. Just gotta find a pile of black cards, and I know it'll be in there. There's a whole yesterday as I was digging through card upon card upon card. I kept coming across 50 of them, and I put them to the side saying, oh, these are good cards. These are cards that I can sell or put to sell because people want dark rituals, because it's a card that people need and want, and you need to have it. I just don't remember which spot I put it in, let's put it that way, which is always fun when you forget where you put stuff and then have to figure out where you put it so you can find it. Yeah, I don't know where it is now. Actually, quite honestly, wait, I found it. I found the pile of cards. It has the stuff to look at. It was in a pile of stuff to look at prices, but also do this thing. So let's see here. If I just go through this really fast, we can find it, and then we can switch over to what I was talking about here in a second. So hopefully I can find it. Let's put it that way. My luck is there's still not going to be any in here, and I'm like, no, I know I put a bunch of them in here yesterday, and I want to find this before I forget, and then I come back, and then the next thing I know, I'm like, where was I again? What was I doing? That needs to be in here too. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. We're about to switch over to this live stream. You know what? We're just going to take a pause for a second. If I can't find one. Found blood pets. Found all the blood pets I need. Alright. Give me just 1 second. We're going to actually adjust here. because we're going to switch over to Magic the Gathering stream, because they're supposed to be doing their weekly stream. Magic the Gathering. They're doing a stream, and we're going to switch over to that. You guys can hear it. We're going to turn it up. No, we're not rating anybody just yet. But I hope everyone is doing well. Appreciate everybody for being here and watching. And, you know, if you're here, we appreciate you. I'm just trying to find the Magic the Gathering page. There we go. Aetherdrift world building. Oh, what are we doing? Go to it. There we go. And I'm going to switch it over in a second. You'll see it switch over to it, so that way we can watch it together. It's starting here in just a minute, and so while we're doing that, I can continue what I was doing. I'm gonna try to continue what I was doing at the same time. Try not to lose anything. If I lose you over here, I appreciate it. And we're still going to kind of sort through some of the cards. But I am going to fix something here. So we're going to add a source. We're going to do a browser. Okay. Cancel. Or do we don't want that? We don't want that. Hit the wrong button. I want to add a screen capture. On its own, we'll set that off on its own. See if I can find the window capture though. Nope. I'm doing this wrong. Sorry guys, I apologize. I'm still new to figuring this all out. Audio capture from oh, we're about to miss it, and I apologize if I do that. So if we do miss it, media source. Yeah, we're just going to go like this one. We're going to go display capture, hide, okay. Alright, we're on this thing, so
the 3 planes that we will be visiting and a bit of information about
Aetherdrift.
And we're just going to kind of talk through all of that. The thing we're not going to do, there will be no preview cards today.
No preview cards. What?
Setting that out right now. Let's set expectations. This is all about world building. We're going to dive deep-ish into what's going on in Aetherdrift, but No preview
Aetherdrift.
cards. Now, before we get to the world building and Miguel doing all the talking, we've got a couple news items. The first one, of course, as we announced last week, so tickets for MagicCon Chicago are now on sale. MagicCon Chicago is happening this February 21 to 23. I'm going to be there. Early bird badges, definitely check those out while supplies last.
I'm sorry, guys.
There's a ton
I'm
of cool
trying to
stuff
get it over
happening
here.
in
If I can
MagicCon
get it, I will
Chicago,
get it
as
over
with
here.
every
I will work
MagicCon,
in.
but the real capper is that we are featuring Dungeons and Dragons this time around. Dungeons and Dragons, if you didn't know, just celebrated their 50th anniversary. And so we're going to join in some of that celebration with D&D Beyond experience, panels, merchandise, all kinds of cool D&D stuff, in addition to the great MagicCon experience that you've come to know and love. So these tickets are on sale.
Can you guys hear that?
Now head to mtgfestivals.com and you can learn more about what's happening and how to purchase tickets and badges. Additionally, we shared an announcement this morning. I want to read it so that I get it right, about some updates to Spell Table. So Spell Table, for those of you who don't know, really cool program where you can play paper magic across the internet against other people on your screen. There are a couple updates to Spell Table this week that are
new Spell Table
combat.
updates. Sweet.
The
Hey guys,
recent
hope you're doing
spam
well.
that some players may have encountered. So, few changes. First, players can now have a maximum of 5 active public games per player, and the game card UI will contain all text during the match. Players are now also going to be required to validate their Wizards account before they can create or join a Spell Table game. And then when you block a player in game, all two-way audio will now be muted. So those are some updates that are happening on Spell Table this week. All right, let's go back to Two Faces. We don't need just me because Miguel, tell the folks at home why are you an expert on Aetherdrift? What's your role with this set?
Sure. So, hello again to everyone at home. My name is Miguel. I am a world-building set lead here at Magic the Gathering, which means I work with both the easiest way to say it is I work with both the art and design teams for our sets, from basically like numbers in a spreadsheet and blank squares in our database to all the way to like the final, ideally as seamless product as we can make at the end of it. It's my job to ensure that our art, our mechanics, our story, and our world building all fit together into a cohesive, self-reinforcing, thematic package. And Aetherdrift is
Aetherdrift. Okay, see, like everyone says it differently.
Okay.
At Magic.
Very cool. Well, I think that's our jumping off point to start talking about Aetherdrift. We've not learned a ton about this set so far. We've heard about the Aetherspark. We know there's a multi-planar death race. We know there are 3 planes. So give us sort of the introductory broad overview of what's going on in Aetherdrift.
Yeah, so broad overview is that Aetherdrift is going to follow the events of the Girapur Grand Prix, which is it's billed as the Multiverse's premier multiplanar combat sporting event. It's a race. We're going to see it in its second iteration.
I guess if you're there, we're watching this here.
As a multiversal event now that pits teams from across the multiverse against each other in a multi-stage, multi-day, gray legality combat race to be the first across the line to win glory and a valuable prize. That's at least what it is on its surface.
Okay. Now, you call it the Girapur Grand Prix. Girapur is a place we're familiar with. So talk a little bit more about how did this race start? You said it's the second year. What's the story behind the race?
Yeah, sure. So the Girapur Grand Prix, Girapur is the capital city of the plane Avishkar. Avishkar, formerly known as Kaladesh, will have an article that discusses both like out of character and in character reasonings for why we changed that. Aetherdrift, as I said, depicts the second year of the Girapur Grand Prix. The first year was the first time it was multiversal, multiplanar. It was far more chaotic. It was more of like on the world building side, we were thinking of it as, I believe some of this comes through the story as well, it was more of a test bed for the technologies that we're going to see in this edition of the Gearboard Grand Prix. Identifying and classifying them as aether transport, broadcasting through.
Hey guys, if you're there, we are watching this Aetherdrift
necessary for a single
stream.
plane Avishkar. Manage large-scale, rapidly changing multiversal efforts across multiple planes from a central location. The race we're going to see in Aetherdrift is like the top division race. You'll see 10 iconic teams in there, but if you really want to nerd out about like the whole structure,
I'm going to stop the stream and then
the
start
whole
the stream
structure
back up. So,
and this sort of like illegal street racing, scene.
Still working
was
on something,
their major
guys. Can't
recruiting
get
tool. It's
the.
what made them cool and appealing to people to join. During the Phyrexian invasion, the New Culture Collective ran aid groups. They ran logistics.
trying to
they
watch
fought
this
against
here.
the Phyrexians by putting their couriers and pilots in place to work as scouts and guerrilla fighters, search and rescue responders, things like that. And in doing so, they grew to status of to basically become folk heroes. The invasion ends. The people of the plane, now called Avishkar, are dissatisfied with the consulate. It's been there. That sort of discontent has been simmering since at least Aether. So the New Culture Collective, together with a whole
I've been trying.
host
I can't get it to work, guys. I'm so sorry.
Avishkar's rest of population, they unite and they throw off the command of the consulate and install a new People's Assembly. This event called the Indigo Revolution, also covered in a bit in the story and certainly in the Planeswalker's Guide, and now stand as the new the new assembly, the new government of Avishkar.
Now, I do want to back up a little bit. You've said Avishkar
Yeah.
a few times. You mentioned the name change. There is, as you said, there's going to be an article on Daily MTG kind of talking about the real world work behind that. But this is a change that happens in the story in the World Guide, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So when we head to Avishkar in Aetherdrift, we're going to find a plane that is.
We are, hey guys, we are still here. We're watching about this Aetherdrift planes.
With
Hopefully you can hear it.
Revolutionary hope and potential.
Hopefully if you hear not, I'm trying to figure something out. I'll try to get it in
I
there.
discussed a bit about it. Talking about how the Gearboard Grand Prix got started, but we're going to see it's under the command of the People's Assembly. Now the consulate is gone. Gearboard is still the capital, but this plane is called Avishkar. It's new. Avishkar is it's in this really difficult and I think really exciting as a world builder, a really exciting place of having to balance sort of the truth and reconciliation process of a post-revolutionary period with local reconstruction and Avishkar's both the government and the people, their knowledge that now they are a plane in the multiverse rather than a single isolated in a single universe, right? So they, in the Omen Path era, Avishkar understands that they are one place in a connected multiverse that is just as full of, yes, enemies and dangers, as we saw in the Phyrexian invasion, but also opportunities and allies. And with this knowledge, the Assembly is working quickly. This is sort of the reason, the hard reason for why this event, the Gearboard Grand Prix, exists, is because the Assembly recognizes that, hey, sport is a powerful tool of soft power. We are not interested, nor do we have the capability to go out and invade and conquer and dominate the multiverse. So what we're going to do is work expeditiously through the use of soft power to insulate Avishkar from outside threats.
Avishkar, they're saying Kaladesh from
we're going to
Kaladesh
ramp
to
up trade. We're going
Avishkar.
to try to build
So that's interesting to
embassies.
see.
We're going to spread our currency, our food, our language, the way people talk about Omen Paths on other planes. Well, we want them to use the Avishkari designations for what Omen Paths are. The Gearboard Grand Prix is one of Avishkar's tools that is attempting to spread its influence across the multiverse and protect itself, to make everyone out there their friend, use Avishkari money, think of you as a sort of indispensable status quo. So that's the state of Avishkar that we're.
So this really is a new era for the plane.
Interesting.
After
Yes.
sort of the the twin hammers of the Aether Revolt, of the Phyrexian invasion. This is them saying, this is a new era, we are renaming ourselves, and then stepping out into the multiverse.
Yeah, stepping out with an open hand.
That is
All right.
why.
So we can talk more about, that's going to form the core of the world building, but there are 3 planes that we visit, 2 additional planes.
All right, guys, I got it.
Where
I
else
figured it
are
out.
we going on this Grand Prix?
Sure. So second, I can try and run. If I remember the story correctly, I'll try and go in order of the planes visited. Hopefully, that's not too much of a spoiler. But we'll go to Amonkhet next. That is obviously folks know Amonkhet. Like Avishkar, it's sort of totally kind of similar to Avishkar in that the first time we visited Amonkhet, it is under the yoke of Ecobolas.
Hey,
Second
so
time
glad
we
to
visited,
be here. We're watching this
when we
video right
last
now.
saw
I'm
them,
just trying to get something
they
switched
were,
over.
Like every other plane in the multiverse, subject to the brutalities, the terror and horror of the Phyrexian invasion. So now,
Give me what I want.
like Avishkar, Amonkhet is finds itself
Yes.
in this Amonkhet era free in a way that it hasn't been in a long time. So I should say Amonkhet, like Avishkar, is a host and a participant of the race. As you can see in some of the art on the screen there, they too are also in this process of rebuilding. They like
All right,
Avishkar,
there we
they
go.
have a
Now I
team
got it.
that
Okay.
participates in the race, and it's a united team of living and undead citizens who are participating. Not just
Yeah,
for,
I've been working on it. Here's the problem. I can't do it on TikTok because TikTok
You
doesn't
proceed
like
race,
MacBook
also
because
capture
they're a
it
bunch of
with
buttholes.
dreams and Amonkhet
So
is
this is
fine.
how we have to do it. I'm
Free.
doing one on my video and one on here. So I've got it on Twitch. I just got it. It just wasn't letting me for a second because of
Free is a
permissions.
plane that's
So
beleaguered and battered, but healing. The Luxa is beginning to flow clear.
But
The
I'm
gods
trying everyone to eat my
new
stuff right
are
here.
beginning to
So
stir once more
audio.
with Bolus gone. And what Amonkhet faces now is really an uncertain future, one that holds just as much danger as it does promise, potential ruin as it does potential salvation. There is a whole host of foul forces that are arranged against the United Living Dead, but they
Hopefully
have
I'm
this
not.
opportunity now. The United Amonkhet does the opportunity in Ancient
Yeah, I know.
Secrets
I've
to
got to
speak
get me
about,
a. I need to get me.
So,
I'm working on getting a
meantime,
PC for streaming
take a
exclusively.
bit of a
And
celebratory
that's
breather
it.
before beginning the
So,
real work.
but we'll see.
Okay.
On
And,
that
and
as
you mentioned
well.
Amonkhet is
So-
hosting the Grand Prix. Is there, is there like an application process for planes to do so? Does it just
Talking
depend
about
on
they
where
changed the name of
paths are?
Kaladesh to Avishkar,
Yeah, it's the latter. So, the Planeswalker's Guide.
and then we're going to Amonkhet, I believe, is where we're going to Aetherdrift. So, I mean, yeah, I'll
And
try to swim live if I
in
can.
there we talk
I'm
about
gonna,
how like
when this is done, talk about it and switch over.
one,
I'm going to possibly switch
plane
over
goes
too, but I'll
to,
try if I can. Appreciate it.
to stage of the Europe Grand Prix, like that's something that happens after the end of a lengthy period of diplomacy and negotiation with Avishkar. Tons of agreements. All of it is predicated upon having a stable path. So for as long as open paths have existed, some are open and do not close. The Avishkari classification systems they call these unstable open paths, and there's one that exists between Avishkar and Amonkhet that allows for tons of trade and diplomatic exchange and even such like frivolous things as a sporting event to happen between.
Interesting.
All right. What is the third plane we'll be visiting?
So this one is really, really exciting for me personally, because the third plane that we're going to go to is Muruganda. This is Magic's deepest look into Muruganda yet. I, like rather selfishly, as a world builder, really use Aetherdrift to establish more truths about the plane that we could pick up on and run with if we ever get to visit it for a full set. This is kicking the can down the road a ways in an exciting way.
I'm just trying to see what you guys can hear. I don't want to.
Muruganda is, to sort of sum it up, I want folks to be able to experience it in the card set, the story, and the guide on their own. But it's a primordial plane. I think is the way that we. In
See if I
terms
can
of a place
fix
where
this.
magic and life is raw and young, extremely powerful, but also extremely dangerous if you're careless. Unlike Abishkar and Amonkhet, Maraganda as a plane isn't taking part in the Grand Prix so much as it's kind of subject to the race.
Sorry for the double audio. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so
race,
sorry.
But they will be present, typically participating as a bit of an outside threat. You'll see things like erupting volcanoes, falling chunks of. And Uganda is already known to be famous for oozes, dinosaurs. There's a ton to be encountered here.
There we go.
Plenty of art,
much better now.
flavor on the cards for players to start building a higher fidelity picture of this plane. Like I said, tons more in the Planeswalker's Guide when it drops, and so much more that
Planeswalker's Guide
is left on the cutting room floor, but does exist, and I would love to bring to life one day.
Yeah, and then for those who may not have heard of Muraganda before, or understand why some people in chat are so excited about it, we've been teasing Muraganda as a plane that exists for a long time.
Nice. Cool.
God, when was I don't even remember when the first Future Sight, at least, is as far back as I can remember.
Petroglyphs? I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember
Muraganda. Yeah. At any rate, we've named some cards Muraganda. It's been in some flavor text. Yeah, we've never visited,
Okay.
so I
This is
know
cool.
a lot of players are excited to finally
These three
see
places they're going are
what
pretty
this
cool.
looks like, and what kind of challenge was that for you all to build this world that already had some peaks at it over the years?
Yeah, I think there's sort of a twofold challenge in there. One is that thankfully I'm not a designer in the game design. I don't design mechanics of the game, which is really good because I'm really bad at that. But what was difficult is that Muraganda is known for being vanilla, right?
Yep.
It is difficult to world building and game design has sort of a dialectical circular relationship where mechanics will influence world building and world building will influence mechanics. So it was very much when we found out that we're going to Muraganda, it fell to myself and my art director to sort of define what is that, because we don't have any mechanical identity to really draw from other than it is vanilla.
Yeah.
Interesting to see. So
Basic. So we once we sort of cracked the anxiety of that, it just became really fun to be like, okay, what is our most Frank Frazetta primordial plane that we can think of that is explicitly magic.
it's interesting to see what they're doing here. I'm curious.
What are all the coolest things that we would want to do? What is what are the things that are most exciting to us about this plane that also fit within the brief, but that we can bring early on when we're doing early ideation, early concept work for any set. We always write and draw far more than actually gets used.
Appreciate you if you guys
Got
are on
a
here.
full board treatment, and
Still watching this here.
just a very
so
sort of
appreciate you,
narrow
Mitch.
vertical
Bye.
slice of it, but one that shows, I think, some of the things that we're most excited about with the potential, with a plane that is has that sort of
This Newsom looks bored
primordial
to death right now.
raw magic.
I feel
top
like he needs to tell his face he's having
yeah,
fun.
it's I want to step on my tongue here so I don't over.
Give too much away, yeah.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and now we do know, so Avishkar and Amonkhet, they both had their own cataclysmic events, followed by the Phyrexian invasion. We don't know much about Muraganda before this. We do know from a card that it was invaded by Phyrexia. Do we see any of the after effects of that, or what do we see when we get to Muraganda?
We are going to see, so like I said, we're seeing a vertical slice. We're seeing one region of Muraganda that supports, of course, Alpha Colors of Magic, so we're going to see a pretty diverse and beautiful region of it, beautiful and dangerous. We will encounter some of the, not just beasts and monsters and flora and fauna of Muraganda, we will encounter some peoples of Muraganda and people. I'm using peoples in a very general sense.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Come on.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Whole thing froze up. I'm trying to get us back. Whoa. Well, it all froze up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it all back for you. I want to know. Oh my goodness. What are we doing? Did my internet just crash? Come on, come on, come on. Oh, now I gotta watch commercials? What?
It's Santa. We got a problem.
I got too many things open right now, I think. That's the problem.
Nature gives us what we need to protect ourselves. Like elderberries. Nature's Way combined these with vitamin C, D, and zinc for powerful immune support inspired by nature.
Come on, bring
Nature's
it back.
Way.
Oh my gosh, why don't I watch those 6 commercials?
Pick up the real victory. Savings.
Are you talking about bowling?
No. Bundle, Jan. Bundle.
Bundle and save with the personal price plan.
Sorry,
like
guys.
a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You know, broad civilizations, nations built across them are in this set are in that sort of period of like, well, the most awful thing has happened, so what do we do next? And Avishkar is in a place where it has, you know,
So Avishkar
command
is
over
actually now
incredibly powerful
is the new name
resource.
for Kaladesh.
It
If you
has
haven't
a
caught this
strong,
yet, so they changed the name to
already
Avishkar,
existing
which is pretty
industries
cool.
of,
They said they're going to put an article
invention
explaining why
and,
later today, so we'll have to
you know,
find that out.
massive
So
academies where like curiosity, exploration, all of these things are pushed as like sort of self-sustaining and self-sustaining virtuous impulses, right? So like Avishkar is looking at this as there's a bit of the material which I said earlier, which is like, you know, we're a post-revolutionary government that is like still dealing with. There's old consulate members here. There's, you know, there's Aether pirates and
Ooh, there's
you know,
pirates.
student groups and
Aether
revolutionists.
pirates
We're like
is
trying
cool.
to figure out like how we can have our truth and reconciliation process and our rebuilding process, and also handle the you know the pretty like
I like
earth-shaking revelations that
This
there
is
is
pretty
such a thing
cool.
as a multiverse.
I'm
out
excited
there,
about
right?
it. Hey, Greg, glad that you joined us here.
So it the quickest, cheapest, and most powerful tool that they have is, like I said earlier, approaching the multiverse with an open hand. Right? They also happen to be at a place where they have a ton of open paths opening up. Some that are like flickering open, some that exist for a long time. It's why some of the teams that we'll see in the race and why the race itself can exist. So they are looking at this.
Oh, there's gonna be some
and
really
saying,
cool team
we
ups.
should.
We're gonna have team up cards again.
You know, we should expand our brand basically as fast and as far as we
That's
can.
gonna be really cool.
Um,
So
to
the team
to,
ups.
you know, to insulate ourselves from the dangers by making ourselves a friend to everyone.
Yeah.
So
the team up is gonna be
it
pretty
is
cool.
that leading with that curious, that optimistic, revolutionarily optimistic impulse to say, hey, we all together, the multiverse, we all suffered this. Let's build together. Let's
I
rebuild
took
together.
off of
Let's
it.
come together. Let's celebrate our
Sorry.
victories and then
I'm not
find
paying
out,
attention.
you know, in peace and fellowship a way forward. Also because we don't have, we got to sort out our stuff at home too.
You mentioned that this is the second iteration of
Yeah.
the race. And you talked a little bit
So
about
we've been
the
on
first
another
one.
race
Can you dive a little bit
before.
more into what that first one was like, what they learned,
Mhm.
what the differences are?
Yeah, so one of the teams that
No, I'm still here.
That won the first race will not a spoiler. That's why they exist in the second one. we'll see them in this one. There was a bit of without spoiling too much of our development process, or not spoiling, but getting too much into it. We had to have a first race, and it was initially going to be much bigger than what we were going to what we wound up depicting in Aetherdrift. So we wanted to explore like what with sudden access to a multiverse and the idea of running this. How would a group that doesn't have experience in running a multiversal race try and do it? And our thought is like the thing that makes sense is like they probably wouldn't nail it the first time. We'll learn a bunch. So the first race was, instead of going across 3 planes on a tightly controlled circuit, it was, I think, nearly 2 dozen planes.
What they're talking about, and all these different
through
things.
omen paths that were stable, through ones that were unstable. With a whole.
Oh, there's going to be all kinds of
teams.
types of racers in here, guys. Like the
What
types
Avishkar learned through this is, well, we gotta limit the race so we can ensure. Yeah, it's a combat sport. We don't want everyone to die or get lost out. So we need to limit the scope to keep it safe for participants, to keep track of our participants, but then also. Like I said up top, their interest is proving that Avishkar's interest, the People's Assembly, their interest is in proving that they are capable of being the hub of the multiverse. And key thing in that is showing that you can make omen paths predictable enough for trade, logistics, and travel, right? To make these things feel like infrastructure that everyone who uses them, maybe they pay tolls to Avishkar, maybe they use the Avishkar classification system, maybe they use Avishkari money between different planes, right?
Yeah.
So they basically realized, like, let's make this thing not just a fun exercise in us exploring.
If you're out there, let us know.
And being chaotic about it, but like, let's prove we can make this a system that works, and if it works for a race,
I'm excited for this set.
it
The
can
race
work
is a
for,
really cool idea. I'm
travel
sad they're not
and
any
infrastructure.
preview cards today,
I think we're
but
really
they're
cool
giving
to
us some
sign up with
ideas
us.
and some talking about how it was. So
Now, one of the things that we did reveal before this stream is the existence of the Ether Spark. We showed art for it and like a preview frame, but we've been pretty light on details. What can
whose
you
hand
tell
is
us
that?
about
Oh,
the Ether Spark?
that hand
and
looks
its
like
role in the
wicked,
Guild of
gross. Like who
So the Ether
won it?
Spark
Who got
is,
it?
is the
Liliana?
the Grand Prix of the Grand the Grand Prize.
The
of
Grand
Grand
Prize
Prix.
of the Grand, yeah.
Woo! We got there in the end, like many of our teams. The name sort of spoils what it is, right? It is most likely a Planeswalker Spark or a Spark, whose I obviously cannot say, secured in a.
It's
super
somebody's
cool
spark.
ether
Oh,
solution
it's
housed
not
inside
just.
of,
Oh, that's huge.
very
That's
winning,
huge. So it's not
trophy that
just
functions as
a
escape
random
unit.
spark they created. They stole somebody's
What
spark.
one
Nicol
can do
Bolas?
with that, we will have to read the story to find out. But it is, even in the era of omen paths, right? I've spent a long time here discussing like how much Avishkar wants to control movement through.
It'd be interesting to see
through
whose
omen paths,
spark
right? Through,
got stolen in the
setting up all these
past, and which
systems of logistics
planeswalkers
and
lost their
infrastructure and
spark
showing that they can do
before
it.
the Phyrexian thing happened and all of that.
like,
Possibly.
The ability for one single person to planeswalk wherever they want is not like in the assembly in Avishkar's eyes, it's not really the game changer that it used to be, but it is still like to all of these teams racing. They all, generally speaking, have reasons for why they would want that, power, and like ultimately, omen paths open and close, but having that convenience of being able to go where you want when you want is still like that's still pretty hard to beat. Ether Spark is a treasure that is still worth coveting, and is a nice accolade to put alongside the glory and acclaim for winning the Grand Prix as well.
So we are going to do a Q&A section. I will note, we're very early. Miguel has shared quite a bit of what we're able to share at this point. We're not going to give away story points, plot points, all of that sort of stuff. So the best questions are going to be clarification questions about anything he's shared already. I'll if it's a really good question, I'll throw it up there to see. Miguel knows the story better than I do, so he can pass on it too if he doesn't think that if he thinks it'll give something away. So we are going to do that before we get to the Q&A. So as usual, if you can tag @magic in the chat, it helps me find it a little bit faster. So go ahead and start throwing your questions in chat. Before we get to that, we do have some important dates coming up for Aetherdrift so that you know when to look for certain things. We'll get that graphic up on the screen here. As that's coming up, there are a couple things going up on dailymtg.com today. So there is going to be the first of a 2-part world building world guide. So that was written by Miguel. So that's going to have a lot of the details that you want. And it's going to share a lot of what he's already shared, but also dive a little bit deeper in a couple places. And then additionally, there's going to be that article on the name change. And that's the main stuff. The Planeswalker's Guide. The Planeswalker's Guide Part 1 is going up today. So let's take a look real quick at the important dates slide. If we can get that up. There it is.
Story
All right,
begins
so
okay,
the
can't
story
wait.
is going
Debut,
to kick off
previous
on
season, January 21st.
14th.
Alright, so I have till January 21st to
on
secure a preview
January
card, or
21st.
really the beginning of
Of course, we'll
January,
have
so I've got
a
about a
show right here on
month
Weekly AMTG
to secure that
as
preview
well,
card.
so both.
So I will continue my
Previews
stuff.
are going to run January 21st through the 31st.
Pretty cool.
And then we're going to go right into the MTG Arena Streamer event on February 2nd, followed by pre-release on February 7th, and then February 14th, the Valentine's Day present everyone wanted. Aetherdrift will be available everywhere in the world. All right, let's get to some of those questions. First question, what do we know how long it has been since the invasion when we get to this second Grand Prix?
Yeah, it has been at least 2 years. The specific timeline is always something that's a little fuzzy when we're dealing with current sets that are being built in parallel to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is the second edition of the multiplayer Grand Prix, it's been at least 2 years since the Omen pads opened up.
Okay, so the Grand Prix
Right around
run on a yearly basis. Okay.
Yeah.
Thus far. All right. What do we know what the prize was for the first Grand Prix?
I gotta keep that one a secret.
Ooh, that means
For
it's
a
gonna
couple
be
of
a
reasons,
card.
but the
It's
short
gonna be a
answer is I'm
card.
very sorry. I have to keep that a secret.
Yeah. Let's see. So I see a couple questions about the makeups of the different racing teams. We're not going to reveal those yet. Let's see. We've got a more general version of this question, so I'll ask this.
Sure.
Can you tell us anything about the 10 teams?
Yeah, of course. Some of them are from places that we visited in Magic's past. Some of them are from places that we've only ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Think like Muragana before we revealed it. There's not a team from Muragana though. And others are from places. So yeah, I'm literally right after this. I'm going to go into the Magic Story podcast and talk all about the 10 teams. So I don't want to step on that too much. But
We're freezing up.
I do want to say one of the very fun things on the world building side that we got to do
Ooh,
when
That's a good question. That'd be cool
designing our 10 teams for this is
For the 10
like a
teams.
note that we received up top was like we don't just want to do 10 teams all from known planes and theme specifically to like
So
what a racing team from X be like. So there was an allowance in there for a certain number of teams from areas in the multiverse that we have never heard of before, never visited before, and are totally new to players. And the sort of world building intent behind that was to show off that in this era of Omenpad's opening,
So you got
the multiverse is so
Pretty
much
interesting to
larger
see.
than we have cameras to cover, right? So I think we actually have art from some of them out there already. I don't want to stumble over it just in case I'm wrong. But yeah, what I can say is that we'll have teams from places that we've been, teams from places that we've heard of but never been, and then teams, actually, there we go. That's
Ooh, there's
one
a
right there.
bug.
Teams like the Speed Brood here, from planes that are planes or places that are entirely new to Magic. This is the first time that we'll see them.
All right. I also got another fantastic question that reminds me I skipped an entire section of the stream.
No.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There is a rumor of this being 30 packs instead of 36. Yes, it's not a rumor. So producer Sean is going to take us back to the beginning. I skipped an entire graphics package. So we do, yes, we can share a good deal of information
I want a
about
video or a movie of this.
the product
Okay.
lineup for Aetherdrift.
So there's 2 commander
here
decks.
you can see the product lineup.
A finish
we
line
have a lot of
bundle,
known things. We
a
have
normal
play boosters, of
bundle.
course. We have collector boosters. There are going to be 2 commander decks. There is a bundle.
A
There's
Sahili
also
as a
finish line
commander,
bundle,
and
so
then
that's
somebody
a
else
special
as a
bundle
commander. I
that's
can't tell
got
who the
special
other guy
stuff in it.
is.
And of course, there
But
are
it looks
going
like
to be
Sahili
pre-release
as a
packs.
commander, so pretty cool.
So this is a fairly normal product lineup,
Energy
plus the
and Eternal
special
Might.
bundle there,
So
which we'll talk more about
probably
what can be
some more
found in
things.
that. The change to 30 packs per play booster box is happening with Aetherdrift. That is going to be a forward-facing change. We've been getting feedback from retailers for quite a while that 36 packs was too many in a box. 30 is closer to the preferred number. We have seen a lot of thoughts on, is this shrinkflation, is this whatever. The MSRP is based on per pack. So the MSRP per play booster pack does not change. So there is no there is no suggested price change with the pack price.
My thing got checked for
30
mods because
packs
asking if they got
would have an
pre-cons or not.
MSRP
So
lower than
going from
36
to
packs.
30.
Yes, that's it.
Um,
Additionally, there is a box topper for this. So
Ooh,
not only is there a buy a
nice.
box promo, which we are not showing off today because we're not showing off preview cards, but there is going to be a box topper additionally in each.
these will be some.
play
I guarantee
booster
these will be
or,
some old.
any
A lot of
booster
them, the box toppers will be old
that's the
vehicles
packaging.
and stuff.
We're
That's
not
what
gonna
I'm
show you
guessing.
either, 'cause it's pretty cool.
So
But we will show you when we get to the debut in January. Okay, thank you for that question, reminding me that I skipped an entire section of this stream.
I got really nervous because I ran out of notes. I was like, cool, hit the Q&A, just do world building stuff, and you said another section.
Yeah, no, that was my section. That was my section.
Beautiful.
Obviously, right on top of this. So let's see. When will preview cards start? So that was that'll start with the debut on the 21st. Here's sort of an overall question for you, Miguel. How long does world building take with a set like this?
Officially or unofficially? Because officially, it's a period of a few months. The easiest way to think about our world building process is that by the time it hits my desk, we have like 3 broad stages of a set's life. We'll have sort of the early like concept push period where it's basically myself, my art director, and whoever the lead designer for the set is. We more or less lock ourselves in our rooms, our offices, well, rooms for me, and go through a couple months of drafting art, rules, and world building, working relatively
here we go again, freezing up.
closely together, sort of spinning up from essentially a prompt, a core like internal document. It's a world guide, hundreds of pages long that tons and tons of text, of concept art that sort of gives shape to what the set is going to be. The second step is another period of a few months that is like the actual concepting, where we have a finished world guide and we start. The story is being written kind of in parallel to this process. I'm acting in sort of an editorial capacity over there as well as leading the card concepting process, where we write hundreds of art briefs for cards. This is also like a living. This is why I said like officially or unofficially, because now we're kind of entering to a degree the unofficial fuzzy zone of world building, where like cards, where art, mechanics, and story are all starting to become real, and in becoming real, we're finding out where things are contradicting each other, where there's friction, where we have to work to sort of shape one of those three things to fit the other two, or two of those three things, and so on. The final period is when we're in finalization. We're doing at that point like creative text, localization, final touches of the story. Hopefully not too many, but sometimes emergency art recommissions. The truly unofficial world building process, where typically, also actually I should say, when a lot of the Planeswalkers guides are being drafted and written, usually we're pulling. If you ever want to know what the world guide looks like, read one of my Planeswalkers guides. I tend to pull a lot of the stuff that winds up in the Planeswalkers guides from world guides, and then do a lot of work to update the text, both to flesh out certain sections, because a world guide's a document for artists. It's not necessarily meant for public consumption, so I have to like make the words pretty and make sure that all the proper nouns match. So sorry, that's a long answer, but the world building, officially a period of a few months, unofficially the entire lifetime of the set.
All right. Can you tell us anything about the planes that were raced through in the first race?
No, probably not.
Maybe? I don't know.
He's probably gonna. You can't give away.
Avishkar is the. This is cheating, but Avishkar is the host, so it begins in Anton Avishkar. We race through. A couple. Oh, actually, I can't tell you what the planes are.
Okay.
I can tell you that the 10 teams that we're going to see in the set, each of those teams is from one of the planes that was raced through in the first Grand Prix.
All right.
So sorry, but a couple months.
This is a you may or may not know the answer to this one, but I thought it was an interesting piece of trivia. So they said, besides Venser and whoever's spark is in the Ether Spark, have there been any other Planeswalker sparks that were isolated and moved around in Magic's history?
There was a discussion in a side story I wrote, actually, for LCI, where Sahili and Watley discussed that as sort of in the wake of the desparking that's happened after the Phyrexian invasion. So that's not the context of that discussion is they're talking about that both of them are Planeswalkers, both of them have lost their spark in the wake of that event, and they're discussing what happens when a spark is removed from the body. So that's one that I'm familiar with.
Here we are watching this thing about the Aetherdrift, the story building, world building kind of thing, to see what they have to talk about. That's kind of interesting. They changed the name of Kaladesh to Avishkar. It's going to be an Amaket, and then
Chat's throwing out a few names. Chat saying Nahiri, Karn, Teferi, kinda.
Oh yeah, of course, Karn.
Yeah.
Brothers War was the first set that I led. Karn was all over that one, along with Urza. So yeah, Karn. I feel silly that I forgot that one.
Well, let's be fair. Karn's history of his
I'm just
Planeswalker
curious.
spark is
I'm really into this Aetherdrift set. Like I said, trying
It's been on a journey,
get a preview card for it.
I am
and so
getting
I
a
want to watch
lot
this
of
one.
questions about the gods on Amonkhet?
Oh yeah, because it
Do
says it's
we
going to
know
be an
anything about them at
Amonkhet,
this
it's going to be
point?
in Khaled,
We
or
do.
Abishkar,
That is a big
Kaladesh,
part
and then
of,
Uranga, which is a place we haven't been yet.
What I can't say today is covered in exhausting length in the second part of the Planeswalker's Guide, Planeswalker's Guide Part 2 for this set. I believe that's also touched on.
Yeah, I'm hoping. We'll see. And they
I
said
believe
preview start
that's also touched on
January
one of the commander
21st,
decks.
so I've got about a
And
month
the
to keep
decks we
pushing
have for
and
this set
and see if
were
they'll
a really
haul
fun
out for me.
way
Like,
of,
hey, we want you to do
looking
preview
at
cards,
what's
so
going on
we'll see.
on these planes
But
while the race is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Check those out if you want to know in detail what's happening with the gods on Amonkhet.
Some people
Yeah.
are a little.
The last time we saw the gods on Amonkhet, I believe it was one of the battle cards from March of the Machine that showed Scarab, Locust, gods, and Hazaret, right? Fighting in Octamoon. You can infer from there that those three are still around. I did also say, when talking about Amonkhet, that there are gods old, known, and new.
Oh, no
that are
problem, man. I
beginning to
appreciate
stir.
you stopping
So,
by. As always,
rest
enjoy
assured
people
we
stop
deliver
by,
on some
so
of
it's
those
nice.
promises.
I was just trying to do a live stream. I
Deliver on
was
those
finishing
promises
building a deck, and then this started. I wanted to watch it.
Aetherdrift,
So hopefully in
card
the
set
future,
and
I won't have to
story
just do this with my phone. I can actually
Planeswalkers.
have it where you can see my face and see this. So.
And it's one of those things, like, I should say, last thing for Amonkhet, and I talked a lot about Muraganda, how we did a lot of world building setup, like what could happen if we were to go there in the future. We did the exact same thing for Avishkar and Amonkhet. So, like, it is our intent that there are tons of hooks in and tons of world building promises in this set for people to to be excited about and to look at as, like, at least personally. I can't speak for the company, but personally, as a world builder, a promise that were I to be in the future assigned a set to return to Amonkhet, just return to Avishkar, like, yeah, I would, or if one of my coworkers on the world building team were, we would pick up and run with those threads.
Cool. Here's a really practical question: are there cities on Avishkar other than Girapur?
Yes, there are. I don't believe we visit them, sort of because of the narrow scope that we had in. We have like 300 cards in a set, right? But we only get so many to actually depict, like, things that are going on that's not like a high action, high energy moment, right? So we decided to only depict the events of the race as they occur in and around Girapur. Yes, Girapur is the capital of Avishkar. I believe there are actually, in the world building, there's like 11 kingdoms across Avishkar. Girapur is just the capital that unites all of them. We don't have any others appearing in the set, but yes, there are certainly other cities, other locations, other regions on Avishkar that are off camera for now.
I'm seeing a number of questions about sort of the makeups of the set. Can't really answer. I will note, I've seen some questions on Magic Story Podcast. So Magic Story Podcast is available wherever podcasts are available. You can just search for Magic Story Podcast. Miguel is going to be on the Magic Story Podcast, that episode, the one that you referred to, where you talk about the racing team. So that one is going to come out on January 13th, so right before the story kicks off.
Nice to know. So one of the teams are 13th, so I got a bunch to keep up with for this
set.
set.
Catch up on Magic Story Podcast is a really great way to do that. There are no standard pre-cons with this set.
They answered my question!
The product lineup that we put up earlier is the full product lineup. I'll answer this again because there seems to be some confusion. Did the price of booster displays change if there are now fewer booster packs contained? Okay, couple things. One, we don't control the price of packs. We can do a suggested price. So everything I say is going to be about the MSRP, which is the suggested retail price. That doesn't mean it's the price you're going to necessarily see or pay. That said, when we do MSRP for a given set, we do it based on the pack. So we don't have an MSRP for a box. It is just the math of how many packs multiplied by the MSRP of a pack. So with 30 packs in a box, you multiply 30 times the MSRP of a single play booster, and that is what the MSRP would be of that. But
They should be
and it would
cheaper,
give
actually.
obviously
Technically,
so
boxes
we only
are
do
cheaper.
MSRP on a per pack basis, so the MSRP would be
It's supposed to
mapped
be.
lower for 30 versus 36. That is that. I hope that makes it clear. Price increases 2-packs are not coming. We have already put out the MSRP for Aetherdrift. You can find it. It is available. It is not above anything. It's slightly higher than Foundations, but that's because we actually lowered the MSRP for Foundations. Okay. Right. Let's see if we have any other questions. We only have a couple more minutes. Let's see. I see a couple questions again about renaming the plane to Avishkar. If you head to dailymtg.com, there's going to be an
No.
explanation, sort of a behind the scenes, what the team did, why. Article going up. That'll be up shortly. May even be up now. Who knows? And then the short version that Miguel shared earlier was basically the plane's been through a lot. They have a new government, a whole new outlook on life, and so they're like, we want a different name. So they changed it. Right? I summarized that.
Yeah. Much more concise than me.
There's a lot more to it, but that's the Q&A version of that answer. Yeah. All right. Do I know if there will be any standard precons coming this year? I have nothing to announce on
That's
that
the second question.
at this moment.
You got 2 of my questions. I appreciate that. That's so cool.
Will the plain cards from Kaladesh be errated to type Avishkar? As far as I know, we are not changing anything that already exists. So we are not going back and errating
Okay, that's good to know.
changing anything's name. So the answer is no for now. With, of course, we can always change our minds in the future for renaming things. Maybe you can answer this one, but I feel like not. But it's a cool question. How does Niv Mizzet feel about another plane attempting to project some soft power?
That is a very fun question, and one that the People's Assembly on Avishkar ask themselves as well.
Okay. All right. I think we're getting into territory where we are going to get a lot of answers like that. So if you do want more, head to dailymtg.com. At the conclusion of this stream, there's going to be a Planeswalker's Guide. It's part 1 of 2. I believe part 2 is going up tomorrow, so it's written by Miguel. So it's going to have a lot of good information in there. Additionally, there is going to be the article on sort of the behind the scenes on the name change to Avishkar that happened.
That's a cool
and then
artwork.
let's put the important upcoming dates up again, just to go through that before we disappear.
Story starts
not
January
on there,
14th.
but Miguel is going to be appearing on the
Debut
Magic
and
Story
preview
podcast on
season.
January 13th, which is going to then roll into the story beginning on January 14th. The story will then run right up into the debut on January 21st, which in turn will kick off preview season, running up through January 31st. After that, we will have the MTG Arena streamer event on February 2nd, followed by the pre-release on February 7th, and then
There it is.
Valentine's Day presents for everyone,
Why?
Aetherdrift available everywhere that Magic is sold on February 14th. A couple other reminders for things coming up. The Arena Championship 7 is coming up soon. It's coming up on December 14th to 15th, so that's coming up this weekend.
Oh, so
and then
Kaladesh
next
had
week is Weekly
a
MTG's
bad translation,
last
or was
show
not a good thing in Hindi, so they
2024.
changed it.
And it's a doozy,
so-
BNR stream. So we are going to talk about the BNR announcement. That's happening Monday next week. We will, as usual,
so
come
it
on
can
Weekly
have
MTG the following day to
connotation,
discuss.
so that's why they changed
and
it.
it's going to be a doozy. It's going to be an
Oh,
interesting
not
one.
bad, but-
end the year with a bang. So please tune in next week for more on that. But until then, thanks for tuning in.
Nice, not bad. Okay, we're gonna swap over here real quick. Give me just a second. We're gonna come back over here. And actually, I'm gonna do this instead. So I'm gonna flip my camera. Oh, flip camera. There we go. We can have a quick talk to you guys here. If you guys are here, we can have a quick talk. And we're gonna have a quick talk over on the rest of this. So I need to go over to my OBS and delete the screen capture. Yep, so now you can just see my horrible desk there. So there we go. So basically, we just found out a lot of cool stuff about the upcoming set, Aetherdrift. So unfortunately, no preview cards, nothing leaked as far as that. We know there's 10 teams now, and so stay tuned. Tomorrow, I will probably be doing a video about that, talking about some of this stuff. I'm going to go through the Aetherdrift guide and stuff like that as well. Make sure, hey, if you're on here tonight at 6 p.m. I will be doing another live stream on Whatnot, selling cards and stuff like that. But I want to appreciate you guys for being here. We're going to go through all of this as well. I will finish building this deck probably maybe tomorrow, so stay tuned. We'll jump back on here and finish going through it and picking up all the cards that we need to pick up and going through them and stuff like that. So, but I want to appreciate you guys so much for being here. And as always,